Hey everyone, so today I have another game for you. Today's game is by 14 Fiora, considered easily to be one of the best, if not the best Fiora player on the Chinese solo queue ladder. He is very young. He's not old enough to play on the LPL. I don't know if he'll ever be in the LPL because he's mostly just known for Fiora, but he is insane on this champion, and he is very well known for how fast he's able to get his 4 vital procs on his ultimate. And today's game is going to be Fiora into Camille. Now, Camille is very unfavored in this matchup, even though she is a fairly strong champion herself. And today I just wanted to show you how he's able to essentially end this game by 7 minutes. The opponents don't actually FF until 15 minutes, but he basically completely outplays the enemy champions to a point where they essentially go, fuck this, I'm not playing, and they just FF at 15. So I'm going to show you the exact moments, and we're going to start this game right after a word from our sponsors. Mobile games can seem a bit too simple and poorly made these days. That's why you need Raid Shadow Legends today on mobile. With millions of champion combinations, Raid is even more complicated than League of Legends. Use my QR code or links in the description to download on PC or mobile. My favorite part of Raid is playing against other players and defending yourself. There's nothing more satisfying than putting together a perfect combination and sweeping the enemy team before they can even hit you. My favorite faction is the High Elves. They're from Aravia, a civilization that has been around for 1,000 years. They survived the fall of the Lizardman Empire, helped the humans form into civilizations, and defeated the Orcs when they attacked the continent. But then Seraph, the Lord of Darkness, convinced a bunch of elves to go evil and attack the kingdom. The civil war nearly ended the elves, but Aravia survived, rebuilt, and now it's stronger than ever. Raid's got something extra special happening right now. They've released a legendary champion based off MMA and pro wrestling legend Ronda Rousey. Yes, the Ronda Rousey. You can get Ronda for free right now, whether you're a new or longtime player, just by logging into Raid. All you've got to do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and February 20th, and Ronda is yours. Use the special promo code RAIDRONDA to get a bunch of helpful stuff to level up your Ronda so she's at the top of her game. If you're on Amazon Prime, you can get exclusive rewards, but there's more. New players use my link or scan the QR code right here and get a free starter pack worth almost $30, a free champion Ina, and also this cool in-game loot. You'll find your rewards here in the inbox in the next 30 days only. You can use my link in the description and download Raid today. So right here, the first thing that 14 Fiora does is he immediately rushes this bush. This is the first thing he does in every single one of his games. He immediately comes in, camps this bush, and just looks for a 1v1 trade because he says, my champion is broken at level 1. Very, very few champions. I would say maybe Warwick and Trundle are the 2 top laners that can really match Fiora at this stage in the game, but he just continues trading. Now, one of the things that really interesting things that he does is he makes sure that he doesn't continue chasing Camille into her tower just to be able to extend the trade. Even though he's not proccing vitals, he's still just out trading him because he's Fiora and he has a shorter reset on his Q compared to Camille, and he just completely wins out on that trade. Camille pops Ignite, he pops her potion, and still Fiora is just completely dominant here. Now, he does make a small mistake, misses that proc, nearly dies. Had he not actually started popping his potion and hit that last vital, he would have died there, and this lane would have been significantly harder than it is now, but fortunately for him, he is able to get that last auto in. It really, when it comes down to the LPL high elos, it really does come down to just one missed auto, one more auto attack, one more missed ability, and pretty much the game just completely swings into a different direction. Now here, Camille knows that she can't go in. Fiora's about to hit level 2 first because Camille all-in'd her, and her minions were hitting Fiora instead of the enemy minions, and so there's not really a chance for her to be able to go in. And now Fiora's just slow pushing into the enemy tower. Kindred is very unlikely to be here right now because Kindred started topside, and it is very likely that she is probably looking for her Scuttle Crab on the bot side right now, because usually that's where the first mark is, but we can't say for sure. I think they just spotted Kindred on the bot side, and now right here, Kindred could be topside. It's not very likely that she is. It's probable that she's most likely on her blue, or maybe on her Gromp or close to Crab. It's not probable that Kindred goes red into Raptors, into Krugs, and then right into top. It's not a very efficient path for Kindred because she doesn't really clear small minions as efficiently. So it's still possible, but it's not something that he has to look out for. Notice that he always always initiates a trade with Camille as she's looking for a minion. That's pretty much just the best time that you can go for a trade, is when the enemy player is looking to take CS. So either she takes damage or she loses or she takes a minion. So you're essentially forcing them into one of two bad options. Now right here, he goes for a warp because there's still a chance that Kindred could be here. It's not very good, but there is still that possibility. Goes for just short, quick trades after Camille goes for an auto attack. Notice how it goes for a Q as just the same thing. Always going for a Q, always going for a trade as she's going for minions, pressuring her when she's looking to farm. And that is just the safest way that he is able to just rack up a little bit more damage while Camille is forced into a poor position. Camille right here decides to go to all in her. Not sure why she does that. Just doesn't understand Fiora's damage, I guess, and just dies here, and for really no good reason. Now, if you look at the map, Kindred's mark is on the top scuttle crab, so it's very likely that she's going to be here. Now, Kindred actually marks Fiora here, so you know for sure that she's going to be here. He decides to actually clear out the entire minion wave because he knows that if you clear out this entire minion wave, he hits level 5. And hitting level 5 at this stage in the game is a massive power spike for any bruiser, because you get bonus stats, you get a little bit of healing, and you're just able to win pretty much any other trade that you couldn't win before. So here he decides to go back in because he has his W back up. He gets 2 procs on his passive, presses W, and just completely out damages and 1v1s him. He actually says here in his trade that, oh, I know you don't have flash. I know you can't catch up with me. Had Kindred had flash there, she probably would have been able to kill Fiora before her W came up, and it would have been a lot easier to do so. But she's 2 levels down. That is massive in the early game. Kindred doesn't really have very high base stats because she is a range champion and Fiora is a bruiser melee. So she just has less armor, less AD, and Fiora's just able to finish her off. So that's pretty much it. Now he's up 2 kills in a Fiora favored matchup, which means that Camille is completely fucked. There's no chance that Camille is going to be able to do anything on her own. Like, Fiora would have to significantly fuck up here in order for Camille to really be able to win anything, and that's what he does. He just runs in and he's like, hey, come, go, my champion's broken, your champion's not as broken as mine, and I just win here. And so he takes it, like, basically he takes 2 minion waves there and he still wins. He has red buff, so he'll regen a little bit back up, but there's really nothing Camille can do here at this point. She just suffers. Every CS that Camille gets now is because Fiora let him get it.
And 14 Fiora is not the type of player to allow his opponents to get any sort of free CS. He hits level 6 here. He decides to push the minion wave. Now, you could right there, if you wanted to, you could just freeze the minion wave and force Camille into a position where he can no longer get any farm whatsoever.
But this is high elo. Freezing is not really as effective. You want to push your lead as hard as possible. You want to take turret plates. You want to tower dive. Echo is topside, so there's no reason that you don't take this dive. And he's just slowly chipping away at him. Camille ignites him to try to dissuade Fiora off of the dive, but it's too late. Echo's already here. Kindred's a little bit late in showing up. Gets a Q proc, misses the W proc on the Kindred mark, but it doesn't really matter. Echo gets a really nice combo there, and he gets just another kill. So this lane is just completely over. And this is one of the things that I absolutely love about 14 Fiora, is just the way he plays Fiora is very cocky and arrogant. He actually says the words, oh, I'm gonna give her a chance. I'm gonna give her a chance to outplay me here. But just doesn't happen. He completely destroys Camille there, and her spirit is just shattered. There's nothing she could do. If you actually go back and replay that, you will see the way that he did that combo was he preemptively autos on the first ultimate proc, so that the ulti proc goes in as he's in his auto attack animation. The second proc is done with an E reset, and then the third proc is actually done with his Iron Spike whip proc, and the last one is done with his Q. He Qs as his last proc. That's usually what he does. If he used flash there to proc Iron Spike whip faster, then he would turn that combo down from 2 seconds to about half a second. Decides not to do that. He knows how much damage his champion does. He knows exactly how much time he has in order to proc that healing, and the lane's over. It's 7 minutes in. He has Gore Drinker. Camille has 20 CS. She's got 2 long swords and a Doran shield. There's basically nothing you can do here. Even if Kindred stayed top for the rest of the game and camped the shit out of it doesn't matter. He's so strong at this point that he can literally just 1v2 and come out ahead. Even if they blew every one of their ultimates, the ignite, everything, it doesn't matter. Fiora at worst is going to trade 1 for 1, and even then, that's not even that bad of a trade. So pretty much, Camille has no chance now. This is any top laner that has played top lane and been in this situation knows how bad it feels. You just know that the lane is over and that you're not going to be relevant for another 20 minutes. And you don't even want to play League of Legends at this point. And that's exactly how this Camille feels. Like she just uses E randomly, just not really paying attention, and just gets one tapped. There's just nothing you can do now. Either this happens or she slowly gets chipped under tower and slowly dies. There's really nothing that she can do at this point. This tower is already gone. It's been gone since he got that solo kill, since he got that ultimate proc, and Fiora's just going to get Ravenous Hydra at this point. He already has 2 items. It's already guaranteed. He just hasn't actually taken the gold for it yet. He's going to get 2 items for free. He's still going to be, 6-0 at the very minimum. And there's really nothing anyone can do about this. Even if right now the enemy team's actually doing the correct thing, which is they're playing bot side and they're getting kills bot side. They're getting dragons. This is pretty much the best you can hope for, because even if Zoe shows up top lane, there's not really a good chance that they're going to be able to shut down this Fiora. Most of Zoe's damage is in the form of either lockdown or burst. And so Fiora can counter both of those with just her mobility or with her W. And there's not really much that anybody can do. So it's just kind of over at this point. There's really nothing else you can do. Now, the first thing you do when you're in a situation like this and you're this ahead is you don't help your team quite yet. What Echo's doing here is he's doing the right thing, which is he's putting pressure on top side so that Fiora's lead is guaranteed, and he ensures that Fiora has vision. He makes sure that Fiora is covered, so that he can just take this tower basically for free. There's nothing that Camille can do here. He just runs up, procs the abilities, and then this is just free. Like you don't need skill to do this. You just press all your buttons, you hit your abilities, and it's over. Like he's just too fed. He takes tower, he gets 500 gold. And he's very close to Ravenous Hydra at this point. He just needs a little bit more gold. He's going to be able to get another wave for free. He's not going to be able to take this tower quite yet. He's a little bit overextended right now, but Camille's still not going to be able to not strong enough to be able to do anything about it. He doesn't have mana. If he had a full mana bar, he'd be able to take this, but unfortunately does not. Presses B here, wants to go finish some more items. And at this point, now Zoe comes in, ignores, this doesn't really matter. She's just wasting her own time. So what you do here now as a top laner is you don't stay top lane. Fiora has way too much gold on her as a solo champion to be able to just stay in one lane. Camille is not, no matter what happens at this point, Camille is not going to be relevant until she finishes Divine Thunder, which is not going to happen for at least 5 minutes. So what she does now is he actually looks, do I go bot lane or do I go mid lane? He looks at bot lane and says, okay, well, there's too many people bot lane right now, and there's already a fight breaking out. So by the time I get there, this fight's probably going to be over and nothing's really going to happen. Plus, he also says that there's too many turret plates and he doesn't really want to share this gold with everybody else on the team. Shared between 4 people, I think, is around 40 or 50 gold, so that's not really worth it for him. Instead, he just opts to take mid tower. Mid tower is a lot easier. Zoe was already found bot lane. Zillion's already pushing here, and he just immediately takes this down, gets 88 gold per plate. He's able to get the full tower. Mid lane tower is also a lot more valuable because it provides a lot more vision for the enemy team, and just provides a safe place for a lot of the enemy champions and the rotations. Now he goes back up top because there's quite a few minions there, and while Camille's still not going to be relevant for a very long time, you don't want to necessarily just give up this amount of gold to an enemy champion when you're this close. Plus, the bot lane fight's already over, and he doesn't have enough mana to be able to really impact this whatsoever. Takes the minions, gets the farm, and now he has just enough gold I believe, to purchase Ravenous Hydra, the most balanced item in the game right now. And he decides, and he says, okay, well, I have basically my full build. I don't really need to be any stronger. I can essentially 1v2 any champions in the game. And he decides, well, we're just going to go right down to bot lane because that's the only lane that I have yet to have an impact in. So just starts walking bot. Like, you don't even need to look top lane anymore because top lane, it's been over. It's nothing needs to be said about it. And there's a little bit of a fight breaking out right now. Zilean's trying to keep the enemy teams interested, trying to keep the enemy team relevant. Kindred immediately sees Fiora, runs away, but doesn't matter. Zilean has the speed up, goes in, pops Fiora, way too fucking fed. Sees Caitlyn, just presses R, presses buttons. Caitlyn just completely gets shattered by Fiora's burst damage. She's got 2 items at this point. Caitlyn just finished her Gale Force. There's no escape from her. There's no chance. Takes plates. He actually complains a little bit here because he says, I hate sharing plates with 4 people. There's just not enough gold for the rest of us. But he does need to be here. He's the strongest member on the team. He also takes towers very, very fast. So the faster they take this down, the faster he can go into a different lane and start farming again. Gets the plates, takes the tower, and the next objective is to just go top and take the rest of that tier 2 tower. After top, then you go for Dragon, you go for Rift Herald, then you go for mid lane, and you just completely choke out the enemy team of any sort of resources they have left. And the game's over. The game has been over since 7 minutes. It's just a matter of doing the right thing and being at the right place at the right time, which he obviously is going to do because he is challenger on the LPL server and one of the best Fiora players in the world. So there's really not much else to say here. He gets Merc Treads because, well, the only way he really dies here is if he gets CC'd to death and he misses a W and is unable to really do anything. Here, I don't know why Kindred's even going for a fight. It really doesn't make any sense whatsoever because Fiora was like just next door, and his Q just does, his Q plus his passive just does way too much damage. just killing everyone. But this doesn't even take skill. What really takes skill is that 1v1 against Camille. The fact that he was staying at, he stayed at a position where he could have thrown his entire lead. If he lost that 1v1 to Camille, he would have given up 1,000 gold. He would have given up another entire wave, and Camille would have been able to actually trade with him. At this point, it really doesn't matter. He's way too gigafed. There's nothing anyone on the team can do. He's just having fun at this point. He's 11-0 at 15 minutes. He's got nearly 1 kill per minute, and Camille's continuing to hint. And I believe they FF in just a few seconds from now. Yeah, a 15-50 FFs, and the game is just completely over. So I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this game. And if you'd like to watch more, I put his stream in the description, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.